Da. I always start wrong. That's the other side of my house. Every time. Every time. There I am. And close. Every time. Hi, beautiful people. I know. I know. It's like I would get used to it. No, that would be too easy. How's it going? It's 2:30. Let me share the link to this out on the Twitter. Dun, da, 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 because we're live. Thank you, Mathis. You know, the thing with the hair is the salon always does it so well, and then you try to do it yourself, and it's never the same. Yay! Good, Kimberly. Glad you're here. I just saw your picture on Instagram with your peppers. Look good. Excelente. All right, just now there's the link. Is this the direct link? I don't want to watch this. I want the link. Give me the link. Give me the link. There's the link. Okay, now close all this little business that I got to take care of. Hey, Ingeborg. It's good to see you, sweetheart. Live on Facebook. Now, how to get an agent. Hashtag SMFA Ninjas. Oh my God, I totally forgot to put SMFA Ninjas hashtag in the title of this. The struggle is real, Alexandra. Hello. Hello, hello. Carmen, yes. Hello, Barry. Good. I'm excited too. Okay, link and tweet. Join in the fun. You like my little high Twitter voice? Okay, so there it is. Hi, Bernadette. Good to see you. Okay, cool. So now that's out on the Twitter. I did not put it in the Facebook group, so I'm pretty sure my team is here. If you would put it on the Facebook group, that would be awesome. Yeah, so the day after hair is never as much fun. Yeah, what do you think, Andrew? It's never as much fun as the salon hair. The salon hair is like perfect. And so, of course, the stylist said, Bonnie, you could totally do this at home. You just need to buy a hair dryer. And I was like, okay, first of all, 3 things I don't own that surprise people: hair dryer, coffee maker, iron. But that also tells you a lot about my lifestyle. I am low maintenance on this. I am low maintenance on the clothes. Like, why would I ever have to iron something? And then coffee. I do my juice. I do my juice. You like your customer service voice? Is your customer service voice like really helpful? Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, so this is my attempt at doing the hair. No coffee maker, Ryan. I don't drink coffee. I used to say I drink wine, water, and vodka. That was my joke because I love alliteration. But now I drink water and juice. Today's cold pressed, gluten-free, vegan, no GMO juice from downtown LA is the Pipe Cleaner. This one's my favorite. It's green apple, lemon, and ginger. And I had to shake it up because the ginger settles in the bottom, and it's like just this stack of ginger powder, and it's really spicy. But I love it. I love spicy juices, green juices, yes. Awesome. Great, Michelle. Glad you're here. Book the room. Book the room on your audition. Thank you for joining me. So anyway, so this is my attempt at the hairstyle. And when she said, "Oh no, all you have to do is get a hair dryer and you'll be able to do this," and I was like, "Look, you had the hair dryer tucked under your arm and had 2 hands doing this to my hair at all times. I have no chance, even if I had a hair dryer. Like, what is this? No." This is about all we got. The ginger turmeric, yum. So Erin, how did your experience go with the juices? I'm glad this is your favorite too. I swear, oh my God. Such a fan. It's just like, opens everything up. So spicy. I love spicy. Spicy's good. How y'all doing? We're going to talk about getting an agent, how to get a hell yes agent, not just some ho-hum crap agent. If it's time for you to get an agent. And I'll do a little myth busting on why you don't want an agent that's out scouting during pilot season. Duh. Yeah, don't settle, Mathis. Don't settle. A lot of people will use the marriage analogy, and there's certainly that. Why you wouldn't just settle for someone just because you're like, I so want to get married. I'll just go ahead and get married. Like, no, of course not. You don't just do it for the sake of it. You know that all that's going to mean is coming up after that, you're going to be on the search again, looking for another agent, going through all the shit again. So I'm like, let's get it right the first time. And I'm not saying you get it right the first time with the anticipation that you will then stay with that agent for life, because a good agent knows if he does his job well, and I'm going to use he on an agent and probably she on an actor for most of this talk, so get over it. It doesn't mean anything other than that's just what I chose. If an agent does his job right, he knows you're going to leave him. He knows that if he does his job well, unless you're starting out at CAA or Gersh, you are going to leave him for a CAA or a Gersh, and he's going to be so happy to have helped you get to that tier. And you're going to be so happy to have gotten to that tier with this agent's help and that trajectory that you put in place through the research that you did that made it so you got with a Hell Yes agent to start with. You don't want to get with a bottom feeder agent that you can buy access to. That I'm saying it, like, that is a bad idea, because the level of care and attention you're going to get as a client is going to be iffy. This is where people sign with agents and then have no idea if the agent even remembers they exist. They're like, I don't even know if he remembers he reps me. I'm afraid to reach out. I haven't gotten an audition in 4 months. I don't even know if my agent remembers that I'm there. Last time I went over to IMDb, I wasn't even on his roster anymore. Like, I think I've been dropped and I don't even know, and I'm afraid to call. What is positive about any of that? This is a business partner. You want a collaboration with a business partner that there's no problem picking up the phone. There's no problem shooting a quick email or a text. There's no problem dropping by. You're in business together and your goal is to make money together. So there shouldn't be a question as to whether or not you're repped or how you're repped or anything like that. So I just find it fascinating that actors get very not picky about rep. And let's talk numbers. Just real talk here. You know, I'm all about numbers and accurate numbers at that. So let's get real on this for both New York and LA. So for Los Angeles, there are 260 something talent agencies, and there are more than 700 management firms. Okay, so nearly 1,000 companies exist just in Los Angeles to represent you and to pitch you to your targets, the casting offices. And so you absolutely want to get very clear on your targets. The reason we talk in self-management for actors all the time about targeting is because if you just say, well, I need an agent and I just need to get repped, you're kind of missing out on understanding the power of the targeted rep. Because when you do the homework on it, you're able to find out who it is that is has direct access consistently in the casting offices that you are targeting as an actor. And the reason you're targeting those offices is because you know that you were born to tell stories that align with the types of stories that are told in certain casting offices. These casting offices populate certain television shows and films and commercials and plays and whatever it is that you're targeting, and your research that you're able to do easily and simply using the methods that we outline in Self-Management for Actors, you're able to determine exactly who is a better way in. You're basically mapping out the relationships within agents and managers' webs of trust. The web of trust is a concept that we cover extensively in the book, and it's an important one to understand. But as you start to map this out, you find there's power in tracking these patterns. Let's talk numbers New York, because numbers are a little lower. I just posted it in our Facebook group today, actually, because I was giving advice to someone, and I was like, all right, look, in LA alone, and I gave out the numbers. And he was like, oh, well, I'm in New York, as if like, I shouldn't act like I know what his voice sounded like when he posted it. But it was as if, well, I don't have to target with so much specificity because I'm in New York. And I'm like, actually, y'all numbers not that different. In New York, we're looking at about 150 talent agencies now, and management firms are hitting around 600. But so really take a look at those numbers. Like when we're talking about the number of people who live and work off commission to get you in front of casting directors who then can hire you, and then when you get paid to do the job, the agent gets the commission, the manager gets the commission. You know, that's an awful lot of people to choose from. So it would be silly for you to just say, well, I need any agent. Because if you go through IMDb Pro, and if you're not targeting theatrical, but instead you're targeting commercial, you use IMDb Pro coupled with iSpot.tv. And if you're doing theater, then you use IBDB, which is the Internet Broadway database, and then the off-Broadway one, the LORT URL. Hopefully somebody will drop in here, and if not, we can have this conversation in the Facebook group after, because I have all those links available to you. You just add those layers on to do the exact same research that we outline in the book and in the materials. What you're going to do is you're going to start to map out which agents and managers are direct lines into those casting offices because they are disproportionately having their clients book. Now let me tell you what it is that's happening. And this is the part that gets really, really, really super cool. Caitlin, it's not an accident that you're overwhelmed by the possibilities and the potential. And that's one of the reasons that we really want you to get clear on the targeting methods, because in using the targeting method, then you start to see clear patterns, and it just gets crystal clear. It's like suddenly there's a spotlight shining on, of course, the only half dozen agents or managers, or maybe a dozen agents or managers that are hell yes, slam dunk, oh my God, not only are they direct lines into casting offices that need to know me, they are hungry for actors at my tier or right above my current tier, and they can take me there. Ben, you joined the Facebook group by going to SMFA Ninjas. Also, if you put in self-management for actors in the group search, you'll find it. One tip on that, though, if you just put in SMFA Ninjas, you're going to find a couple of our subgroups, and one of the subgroups is SMFA Ninjas Whole30, because I've changed my life by eating Whole30 lifestyle. Oh my God, like I'm completely a different person. In all the ways that are awesome, I am still exactly the same person in all the ways that are awesome. I just became a ridiculously more awesome version of myself by doing Whole30. So if you join that one and you're like, why are they talking about recipes and make sure you eat more avocado and coconut, like in this crazy group for actors, just know that you got in the Whole30 group, and you may want to be there. That's great. I'm happy to support you in those goals as well. It's changed my life, continues to. But anyway, here's the cool little ninja thing that you may not even realize is happening when you start seeing those patterns. Yeah, Lainey, I know. I'm like high school skinny. It's ridiculous. I lost another pound today. I'm just like, what? Oh, there's the link. There you go, right there. Yeah, Linda, super yum. As I cough from the ginger. Holy crap, that got me right there. All right, here we go. Here is the secret to all this targeting. Let's talk episodic television, theatrical casting, all right? This stuff that is last minute, we're doing like super fast casting, turning around with like no time for auditions, okay? Let me tell you the best horror story I have for this. And it's not my story, but I'm allowed to tell it because I talked with her when she shared it. Kendra Castleberry is a phenomenal woman. She's a great casting director, friend of mine. And she always, like, we do the Harvard panel together every year. When Harvard brings out its showcase each year, we do a panel, Q&A. And I always love it when she's on it because I know she's going to tell this story. And every year I'm like, Kendra, you have to tell the story. You have to, because it's so fucking good. So she was casting the show Castle back then. So a couple of, I guess at this point, 5 years ago. And she said that they were, as often happens in television, doing a last minute rewrite. So last minute rewrite, holy shit, you guys, when these things happen, they come down so fast that there's no time to put out a breakdown. And sometimes there's not even time to hold proper auditions. And so bear with me on telling this because this is going to really make it click for you why tracking these patterns using IMDb and the other sites that I mentioned, iSpot.tv and the IBDB and all that, will help you and really powerfully help identify which agents and managers matter for you as opposed to just, oh, I need some agent, some manager, or somebody's doing a showcase or a workshop, so I have to go get in on that. Like, no, we're actually going to be able to figure out who can get you in the room and in a really powerful way. Okay, so here's the thing. All right, now I'm obsessed with, like, where is my hair parting because it doesn't feel where it's supposed to. Okay, anyway, sorry. The story that Kendra tells is here they were, last minute rewrite, and they needed an actor on set right now. So she's in the casting office and she's like, they're shooting. They are shooting the scene that they just did a rewrite on later this afternoon. And I need an actor in this new role that didn't exist when we put the breakdown out 3 days ago and did all the auditions and sent everybody to fitting after all the audition process and negotiating and getting people on set. She's like, okay, we have to get 5 choices in front of the director right now. So she picks up the phone and calls her favorite agent. Everyone in casting has a favorite agent. We probably have 2. Like right now, if you told me that I could never cast again with any other agency other than 2, and I had to tell you what those 2 were, I would be able to do that. And every casting director would, because we all have our favorites. And again, this is that web of trust. We have the people that we know we can go to, not only because they've got talented actors, but because we really like their eye. Like their kind of talented actors are our kind of talented actors. They align with the projects that we work on. We want to get hired again by the producers who hire us, so we have go-tos. We know which agencies are going to be the best source for the actors that we most need to make us look like fucking rock stars in the eyes of the producers that pay our rent. Okay, so we all have our favorites, and you can map out this web of trust using IMDb Pro. So here's what happened. She picks up the phone and calls her favorite agent or 2 and says, I need your blah. And she says blah, except instead of blah, she says all the words that make up your type, your brand. Why do I put such emphasis on understanding your type and brand and not trying to be everything to everyone? For this reason right here. This reason right here. By getting very clear on exactly what it is you do, on getting crystal clear on your bullseye, what it is that you deliver, so that if I'm your agent, I have no question when a casting director calls me and says, I need your blah. I go, I know exactly which actors to pick. That's branding right there. So when you're like, oh, I want to stay open, I want to be flexible, I want to be able to be all things, don't put me in a tiny little box. Fuck your little box. You want to be able to play that one thing until you are so high up in the tiers that you could say, let me show you what else I can do. You really need to get okay with understanding your brand, because right here is where it pays off beautifully. Kendra picks up the phone, calls her favorite agent or 2, says, I need blah, and I need them on the set because casting is going to take place in wardrobe. I shit you not. They got drive-on passes for the lot for these 5 actors who came from her 2 favorite agencies to meet her in wardrobe and stand there in various states of dress and undress and being measured and whatnot, with the makeup artist and hairstylist standing by ready to take them in for that. Because one of these guys was about to get a job and 4 of these guys were about to go home. And the director walked in between scenes and went, okay, let me hear the line. 1 line co-star. Let me hear the line, 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 let me hear the line. Okay, great. One more time. Okay, you're it. Everybody else, thank you. 4 guys go home. 1 guy stays on and gets continued fit and continued hair and makeup and then goes to set and has a $1,000 day. And that all happened from web of trust, casting director calling an agent or 2, saying, give me your blah, I need them right now, and the agent being so clear on who those people were, and the casting director having a relationship with an agent that made her so sure that she knew she was going to have the right people showing up in that space in that amount of time so that they could continue to make their day. Because the last thing anybody wants is for the budget to go wonky. I love this story so much for all its horrificness and for all its underscoring of exactly what we teach in self-management for actors. What you're mapping out when you do the research outlined in the book is exactly this. You are mapping out the relationships that show you when there is no time for a breakdown, when there is no time for a casting, when there is absolutely zero chance that we are going to make our day unless we call someone and say, send me your blah. You want to be with the agent that I am most likely to call asking for a blah because you did research that is all shit you could be sitting around doing while you're on social media bitching about what's not working in your career. Not y'all. Everybody who's not watching this, y'all, obviously, you set an appointment to join me here today because you knew that this was going to be good stuff, and here you are, and you're taking home some knowledge. Different. I'm talking about the non-ninja. I'm talking about the actors who are like, don't take away my workshops. I want to be able to spend money to see people. And I'm like, y'all are missing the power move. Y'all are missing the power move, which is research that you can be doing all the time to get super clear on who are the agents and who are the managers that are, once they know who you are and what you do, excited to introduce you to the casting directors who they know have that kind of problem every single few days. Slackers, Kimberly, exactly. No slackers here. No slackers here. No. No slackers. Ninjas here, no slackers. Woo! I love that story so much. I love that story so much. Yes, it's horrific in all the right ways. Yeah, exactly. Clothing patterns. I need a pink paisley stat. Laura, exactly right. It's anything where we need something super specific and have no time. We can't put out a breakdown. We can't hold auditions. We can't go through the filtering process. There's no time. And this is all stuff that you can track. So here's how you get started with that. You get in on IMDb Pro. You take a look at your two target shows that are absolutely, without a question, consistently casting exactly you at your very next tier. Again, this is why it is so incredibly important to know who you are, what you do, what your blah is, okay? What your blah is, and then knowing your blah, also knowing your tier. Because if you take a look at a TV show and say, oh, there I am, I'm on that show all the time, but you're pointing at the series regular and you've never worked your first co-star, you're not doing the research right. You have to be very honest with yourself about what your next booking is going to look like. If your very next booking is going to be a co-star on a cable show, knowing that cable show on that network is the one that is most aligned with me at my very next tier, getting that first co-star, now I can take that bit of homework and research who these people are that are consistently booking the co-stars on my target show. Twinkie, you can't clone me, but you can put me in your pocket and take me with you wherever you want. And I'm happy to go. I'm happy to go. Everybody needs a Bonnie doll. Heck yeah. So this is how it works. You're going to go through on IMDb Pro, having targeted 2 shows at first. And we're going to use TV because, yes, you can do this for film. Yes, you can do it for commercials. Yes, you can do it for plays. It's just that the research takes a lot more time to see the patterns. So starting with TV, even if you're like, I'm not really sure that I want to do episodic television, please, for the sake of learning this homework and building the muscle, do a TV show or 2. And then once you get really good at it, it's going to go really, really fast. You're going to be like, oh, now I know how to track a pattern. I can start seeing them happening in front of me. And then it's going to get crystal clear which agent would absolutely kill to have you on his roster. So here's what we do. Matthew, bring that question back around because I want to get into exactly how to do this, but that's a fantastic question and I definitely want to field it. So here's what you're going to do. Taking your #1 target show, go through and open on IMDb Pro the episodes tab. The reason I want you to go to episodes is because if you're looking at the main page, you're looking at all the fancy people that are the series regulars, the top of show guest star, the recurrings. You know, that's not going to help you. For most of you watching this, you're probably looking to get either those first couple of co-stars or you're trying to go from co-star to guest star, and this is how we do that. This homework works at every tier. It's just that by the time you're trying to go from guest star to recurring or recurring to series regular, you probably got some fancy people on your team helping you make it happen. But it's all the same research, and it works at every tier. So you could continue to do it if you want when you're, fancy celebrity style. You certainly don't have to because you probably, busy, signing, liquor line and vanity cocktail signature experiences and, going out and speaking at commencements addresses and things like that. So yeah, you. All right, so here's what's going on. When you go to the episodes tab, I want you to only take a look at the past year of episodes. Don't go too far back seasons before because then you're going to get old data. More importantly, you're going to get data that has been changed since the booking happened. And what we're trying to find out is who repped the actors who were getting their first co-star, or whatever it is that you're trying to do. So if you're trying to get your first co-star and this is your target show, you know that when you watch it every week, you're like, there I am in that one-line co-star. That could have been me. Okay, great. Then you've picked a good show. And if it shoots in your market, fantastic. That's what you want, because you know you have access to the players, or if you can work as a local in that market. So you go through and opening everybody who booked a co-star on all the episodes from the past season. You're going to look up 100 actors. And when you're just like, oh my God, Bonnie, I don't have the time. Okay, that's cool. I'll see you back next year when we do another one of these and I talk about how to get an agent because you signed with some spaghetti slinging, ho-hum, not a hell yes, nobody got relationships, going around scouting and doing workshops during pilot season rather than pitching you like his rent depended on it, schmo. When you signed with that one, instead of the hell yes that you could get with doing this method, you'll come back to me and I'll teach you this again next year, okay? So let's go ahead and do it now. You're going to go through and open each of these 100 actors in his or her own tab. I don't care how old they are. I don't care what type they are. I want you to just open, like that old commercial. Open. You're going to open every one of them. Okay, go do that, because all we're trying to get right now is data on who reps them, 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 who reps them. That's all we're trying to do. Okay? Data. The way you identify a co-star, if you didn't watch the episode, is by the name of the character. Typically, co-stars are named by the job they did rather than with some big long character name. Okay? So if it says bartender or Billy's teacher or hooker number 2 or uniformed officer or whatever, these are co-stars. The reason for that is because when the writer names a character, the writer actually gets paid more per Writers Guild scale. So it's not just when you see in the breakdown. Sometimes I have clients who get so upset that they see a casting breakdown say will not break top of show, which is basically saying we can't pay you guest star. You're going to be a co-star. I don't care how big this role is. The actors get mad at the casting office thinking that they're being stingy with the budget. And I'm like, I want you to keep in mind the budget cascades into many departments. It's not just casting. The writer also gets paid better if the character is named. The more you know. Okay, so there you go. You are looking for people who are named like Christina has listed here. Young mom, citizen, yes. You do not need to open the people who booked uncredited unless your goal is to be America's Next Top Uncredited Model. It's not. You are not looking to follow in the footsteps of someone who booked uncredited roles on IMDb, right? Right. So since you're not, don't need to open those people, because uncredited either means they added themselves, or they were doing background work that they tried to make look upgraded, or they were uncredited by production, which is not what you want. So since that's not what you want, you don't need to open them. Just pass them by. Okay, go open all the people who booked co-stars. And again, if you are trying to go up to the guest star tier, now you want to open up, Professor David Swinson or whatever, because that's a nice long guest star name. As you are looking at each episode's list of actors, usually they are the lower star meter. Before I get confusing with this, star meter, I don't want you to live and die by star meter. We all know it's manipulable. We know it's a click count. It's an algorithm of whose stuff has also been opened, projects that y'all share, whatever. So what I want you to do when you're taking a look at star meter, obviously if you're opening somebody who's got like a 5,000 star meter and the best yours has ever been is 500,000, don't open them. Somebody with a 5,000 star meter is not repped by an agent who is looking for you with your $500,000. Be realistic. Really, don't live and die by star meter. I don't want you to get all actor mind taffy about it, because that's crazy making. But what I want you to do is be honest with yourself about, is this person repped at an agency that the data is going to help me, because this could possibly be someone that would help me get in the room. And that's all we're doing right now. We're looking for patterns. So as you open up each of these folks and take a look at who reps them, go look at their page, do a little once over, make sure that this isn't like one of 3,000 credits when you're trying to get your third credit or maybe your first credit on IMDb, because then obviously there's different representation levels and needs that are being taken care of. But if it's somebody who, like, when you go to their page, they've got a couple shorts, they got a couple of self-produced projects, and then this is their first like network co-star, you're going to be able to say, okay, this is somebody who is looking like they are just a tier above where I am. And again, regardless of who they are type-wise or age-wise, I want you to get the data, like who reps them. And you're just going to start writing this down. Who's their agent? Who's their manager? This is in the sidebar on the right side of their IMDb profile. You can also see here if they've got no one listed, no agent, no manager. Don't go, oh crap, no data. That's bad. No. That actually tells you that this is a casting office that is open to bringing in actors who are unrepped. This is important for you to know because especially if you are rushing to get an agent or manager, you may not need one to get the booking that would help you get to the next tier on this target show. And this research you're doing is going to show you that. I love it. Tisha's like, this is what I do all day at work. Way to use that work, girl. Absolutely. Get in there, use that computer time and that high-speed internet and just research your balls off. I love it. So as you're going through and writing down agent, manager, no agent, no manager. Oh, they have too many credits. Don't look at them. Oh, their star meter's too good. Don't look at them. A kid agent or a kid that's repped by a specialty agency that is kids only. Maybe you don't need that data. I could see where that might be something that you skip on. But at first, I just want you getting all the info down. Just write it down, write it down, write it down. What's going to happen is you're going to start seeing patterns. You're going to start noticing a disproportionate number of people booking co-stars on your target shows repped by 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 agencies and management firms. What do you think might be happening there? How about exactly what I explained 20 minutes ago? That is exactly what's happening there. You have now mapped out who it is that the casting director calls when there is no time, when there is a last minute rewrite and we got to hurry up and get somebody in here and we got to make it fast, and maybe we don't even audition anybody, we just go straight offer. I call my favorite agent and I say, just tell me who's wonderful, who fits this blah. And I say my blah. And your agent goes, you know who's blah? And then they tell me about you. They tell me about you. They use the words that you gave them about your brand and about your type and about how well you fit in the world of this show, because of course that's why they signed you, because you targeted them based on knowing they've got this level of access that serves your career so beautifully. And this agent then says, I've got the perfect actor for you. And we book that actor without my ever holding an audition, without ever putting out a breakdown. And you've just been able to map that out by doing the self-management for actors targeting work. What did it cost you? If you bought the book, it cost you $20. If you didn't buy the book and you just stumbled across this, it cost you, we're 34 minutes into this. Don't you feel so freaking smart, and you didn't run all over town and you didn't spend all this money on workshops? You looked at information that's available to you. Oh, it costs you whatever your subscription is to IMDb Pro. So there you go. Whatever your subscription is to IMDb Pro, it costs you that. How about that? Did you waste your money and time doing agent and manager showcases earlier in the year? Geo, let's talk about timing on that. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate you for recommending the book. Yeah, y'all, if you don't have the book, get it. It's awesome. Self-Management for Actors. $120 for a year's worth of IMDb Pro. That's chump change for the value that it adds. Oh my God, if you get your Hell Yes agent through the research that you're doing, so worth it. Here's the problem, Gio, with having done showcases and workshops in front of agents and managers in pilot season. I want you to really think about this, okay? During pilot season, the busiest time of the year, no matter where you live, because what's going on in LA affects everywhere. The busiest time of the year, if your agent has time to not pitch you as if his rent depended on it during the busiest time of the year, and instead is running all around scouting new talent. How good an agent is that? I want you to think about that, because so many people use that as a selling point. They're like, oh, and we got this person during pilot season. And I'm like, you should be embarrassed. You should be embarrassed that that agent had time to do anything during pilot season other than be the best agent on the planet for the clients that he reps. Lainey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that's your agent. Yeah, if your agent's whoring around looking for new people when his job needs to be selling your shit on the corner, think about that. Not a good pimp. And that analogy works, by the way, and I'm not going to apologize for it. It's not a good pimp. No, ma'am. I want my agent pimping my ass out night and day, not just during pilot season, but especially during pilot season. When there is so much volume, when there is so much casting going on, it is ridiculous that people would say, oh no, I've got the time to go do this workshop and this showcase and to tour around the world looking for people. That means something else is going on. Think about it. No scrubs. No scrubs, Ponton. No scrubs. Right on. Good. I'm glad y'all are enjoying this. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is. It's a great analogy. I mean, it's dirty, but it works. Higher tiers. Gracie, more information. What do you mean? What about higher tiers? Thanks, Kelly. Christina, yes, you want to submit. Let's talk about the seasons real quick. You want to submit after drop season or right as drop season's going on. And if you don't know what the seasons are, thank you, Thalma. Love you. If you go to the SMFA hot sheets at my website, you will get access to the casting calendar, which lays out when the drop seasons are, when the meeting seasons are, when the when showcase season is, when ad season is. If you're only looking for a commercial agent, you don't have to worry so much about pilot season and the timing of it all. Tracking on a target show for, yeah, Gracie, the rest of your questions cut off, but yeah, no, the targeting homework works at every single tier. You just adjust it up. You don't need to look at what's going on with the co-star bookings because you're looking at series regulars. But yeah, it works. It works. The targeting works at every tier. Yes, there's the link right there for the SMFA hot sheets. Casting calendar is one of those hot sheets, and there are many others that are up there that will round out your experience of the book. But there was somebody who came into our Facebook group who clearly downloaded all the hot sheets and then decided that's the same as buying the book. And then started asking jackass actor questions. And I'm sorry, y'all know, I'm not sorry, y'all know what a jackass actor question is. You've seen it. We see this jackass actor question. I'm not calling the actor a jackass. I'm calling the question a jackass actor question. Get a jackass actor question that's like, look at all this that I put together off these hot sheets. Now I've got a question, and you're like, clearly you have no idea what's in the book about how to target. And that's okay. You're not born having the book and having it planted in your head. That's why I wrote it for you, so that you could have the book and then you've got that information. Absolutely my pleasure, JP. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. But yeah, if you come into the Facebook group, please know that our Facebook group is a work group. It is a work group for the book. So if you've not read the book, it doesn't mean you can't be there. It just means your questions are going to be considered at a level that you're going to get a lot of advice of read the book. Like you're going to post a question going, I don't know why I need to target. And we're going to go get the book. I mean, it's just because it explains it right there. Why do you need to target? Because you don't want to be back here a year from now asking me how to get an agent. You want to be celebrating a year from now all the bookings that you got with the amazing agent that this targeting process basically delivers to you. Now, all you have to do once you have identified your targets is after drop season. Drop season is when all the reps say, these are the people who are not booking. These are the people who are getting bad feedback when we ask casting about them. These are the people who are not showing up for auditions, who can't self-tape when we tell them that we need a self-tape and they can't get it turned around. These are the people who get dropped. because they are costing energy and resources of the agency. And so that drop list goes out and the actors get told, we're sorry, you're gone, or we're not sorry, you're gone, but we're sorry, comma, you're gone, and out they go. And then the agents are looking, and managers as well, are looking to bring on new clients to fill those spots. So once you have determined that this is a target agent, you get it down to like your top maybe 20 agents or managers that you're like, I can see the patterns. I know that there's a disproportionate number of people booking on my target shows through these agencies and these management firms. Then go take a look at their entire roster. There's a couple things you want to watch for. You want to make sure that they don't rep too many people. Here's what I mean by that. The numbers that are general guidelines. Commercially, we don't care. They can have thousands of actors on the roster, and it doesn't matter. And obviously, if it's one of the bigs, you know, CAA, ICM, UTA, WME, if it's one of the bigs, they are going to have thousands of actors, you know, and that's okay because every agent there has like 2 assistants, and then each of those assistants has an assistant and all that. So what you want to do specifically with the numbers when you're looking at your target agents is you want theatrically for them to have about 100 actors per agent. And when you go to IMDb Pro, please keep in mind you're not seeing their whole roster. They often rep people who either don't yet have IMDb pages and credits, and also they don't always list everyone that they rep. If they do any freelancing or hip pocketing, as it's called, they will list you on like breakdown services or on casting networks, but they won't list you on IMDb. So it looks like they have a smaller roster than they really do. And that's part of their branding. The agents and managers need their brand to look a certain kind of way. They need to be perceived as boutique when actually they have, as we can see from the breakdown side, many more clients than are on the IMDb side. So just keep that in mind. But if you see 100 actors per agent theatrically, you're probably okay. You're not going to get lost. And management-wise, you want the number to be more like 20, 25, which is why it takes a little longer to see patterns in management when you're doing the IMDb Pro homework, because it will take longer for the patterns to show because they keep a leaner roster, ideally. And the reason you want so much a smaller roster in management than theatrical agents is because there's a little more hand-holding going on with management. You want them to be a little more present for you. You want them to be a little more hands-on in their advice for you. And you want them to be more accessible. And they just won't be if it's a manager with, like with 300 agents. I mean, an agent with 300 clients or a manager with 300 clients. It's like, how do they don't have time for you. They can't possibly. It's just not, they can't do it. Once you've determined that per manager, Brittany, not per management company, per rep on the roster there. So on IMDb Pro, you could see how many people work at the company, and then you'll be okay. Kathy, I covered the commercial rep numbers can be like thousands, and it's not a problem. So there's no such thing as a perfect agent, whoever asked that. So I can't answer a question, what does the perfect agent, blah, blah. There's no perfect agent. It's self-management for actors because self. Personal, unique to your journey. We track patterns, and then we determine what looks and feels right and aligns with our gut. That's the ninja move. Templates and blueprints and boilerplates and like, oh, this is one size fits all, that doesn't work in this business. Not at all, not ever. Alex is asking a manager at a top tier company with 1 assistant and around 50 clients. Alex, I know you and your situation. If your credits can handle a top tier manager, 50 clients is a little much, but we would assume that that person has an assistant or some second desk that is also helping. And really, you know what level of access you're getting and what level of hands-onness you're having. When we're looking at management firms, for instance, that are also big production companies, if we're looking at like 3 Arts Management, 360, Leverage, Brillstein, places like that, obviously that's a completely different relationship because then there's packaging and they're dealing with you almost always as not just an actor, but also as a hyphenate, as a screenwriter, as a director, as a producer. And so they have a little more hands-on deck, all hands on deck with more people on their team. And so the numbers can be skewed a little differently. Yeah. I should be your agent, Cindy? No, thank you. I was a manager for 1 year. And believe me, that hustle is cray. Excuse me, I had been an actor since my first professional credit, I was 7. So I had been an actor forever. And when I stopped acting, but before I went into casting, I was writing. And so that was my full-time gig, was write. And doing some coaching and consulting like this. And then I had this group of actors that I was crazy about. And I said, I think I'm going to be a manager. And that's why there are so many freaking managers, because just like that, you can decide to be a manager, which I do. At that moment, I was like, I want to be a manager. And so I did. I became a manager, and we incorporated and did the whole, DBA and oh my God, I repped these 16 people, and I worked so hard to try and get them in. And it was challenging because I signed people that I believed in, not people that had credits that I could leverage. And lesson learned. It's tough work. So you want a manager who has web of trust relationships and absolutely has the ability to pitch you as if rent depended on it, because it does. Okay, so as I was saying, when you've gotten it down to your target list that you're feeling really good about, thanks, Millie. As you go through and then look at their entire roster, and you've determined the numbers are safe, you're feeling good about that. Now you want to make sure that they don't rep you already. If it's a commercial agency, doesn't matter. You can have all the doppelgangers you want at that agency. It's not a problem, because a commercial casting director is going to say, I need 10 blah, and you're one of the 10 blah, no problem, you go. But if it's theatrical and we can only see 2 people, you don't want to be number 3. And you don't ever know what our number is for cutoff. So you want to make sure that there's not competition directly. And here's what I mean. Age-wise, tier-wise, type-wise. That's the combination. Because if, for instance, you are similar to somebody type-wise, but you're 5 years older than them, and you go out on roles that are of a different age, then it's not as big a deal, because that's not direct competition. Or if you are the same type as somebody, but you're at different tiers. So, for instance, they are booking top of show guest star and headed toward recurring, and you are just getting those first few co-stars. You're not competition for one another. And so that's okay. But if they are the guy that you're sitting in every audition waiting room across from and going, man, we always audition together, you probably don't want to be repped at the same agency or management firm. Here's why, and this is an ugly truth, but it's a truth, so listen up. There is this thing called sign and shelve. You do not want to be signed and shelved. I have a few clients to whom this has happened before they started working with me. They got signed and shelved, and then they started working with me, and we learned how to avoid that from the beginning, because you can predict it happening. And sometimes people are like, Bonnie, I don't care. We've done all the work. Yes, I know this is a risk. I want to be with this agency anyway. I'm so excited to have their logo on my resume. And I'm like, okay. And then we'll be sitting here in a year talking about how you don't ever go out because you got signed and shelved. Here's how that works. Let's say I'm an agent. I have a client who gets guest star money. So that's a $10,000 booking each show, so minimum, that's scale, 4 days work. You're co-star. So you're trying to get in co-star level, $1,000 a day, single day work. Hey, all of this is great. No problem with the levels of awesome that these things are. Except, here's the issue. If I sign you because when you go up against my guest star, the producers see you as the budget alternative and go with you because they can pay you less because you're hungrier, you prevent me from getting better commission. So I'm going to sign you so I can keep you out of the water, baby, because you're chum in the water, and I need no chum in the water. And that is the sign and shelve. Happens all the time. Actors are like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I just signed with so-and-so. And I'm like, oh, honey, your credits do not back up you being signed by so-and-so. I know why they did that. You are an up-and-comer. You're a hustler. They see you breathing hot on the actor at the next tier that they do rep. And they want to make sure that they get bigger commission, which they do if they control who goes in the room. And they control who goes in the room if they rep you both. You never find out about that audition. No, you do not want to be chum in the water. Yes, it's happening. It's real. I know. We should have called this one like Horror Stories with Bonnie Gillespie, huh? Can you ask in the Facebook group others' opinions on specific agents or managers? Yes. Nick, if you have done targeting, if you just come in and go, has anybody ever heard of TalentWorks? Boo! Boo! not Ninja Question. I'm not booing TalentWorks. TalentWorks is an exceptional bicoastal agency that I absolutely love. Boo is what we do to the actor who comes in and just asks questions like that. So I'm not saying you would. What I'm saying is I want you to have done the targeting homework, and then you present your question with okay, I've done my targeting homework. I have my top 12 targets. I am specifically looking at these guys. I have done a lot of research and I'm aware of what's going on over here. I know these people over here. I've done my social media deep dive. I've set up Google alerts on these people. I've asked for referrals at this company. I'm not getting a lot of information on this agency. Can anybody tell me about them? If you present a question like that in the Facebook group, you're golden. People are going to help you out all day. But if you just lead off with, anybody know anything about blah, 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 we're going to go, yeah, wrong group. Door's there. Head over to somebody else. We don't do that here. Okay, what other questions? What else do I need to say? Once you've identified, let me tell you. If we're targeting an agent commercially because we targeted them that way, they ask it. Lainey, too long a question. I'm sorry. For these long questions, I'll come back and go on my computer and answer in the feed. So come back and read them. A new agency, less than a year kind of thing. April, that's tough. Hopefully, even if it's a new agency, the agents aren't new. So this is why you go back and check their history. You find out where were they before this. And this is where I wish IMDb Pro would give us historical information. But I talk about that in the book and in the not in the hot sheets, but if you Google rep targeting Bonnie Gillespie, you'll find all the places that I've talked about how to do rep targeting. And there are some really great tactics for finding out the history of agents and managers and actors before they were at certain tiers out there. The Internet Wayback Machine is one of them, looking at the history on Kabookit. There are cached websites that will show you their early versions of resumes and credits and who they were with. And so there's some really great sleuthing methods you can do. So what I want to recommend, though, is when you do this targeting work, it is going to be so crystal clear to the agents and managers that you've determined are targets that you are a perfect fit for them, and that they're going to say, oh my God, so-and-so casting office is constantly calling, looking for an actor like blah, when your stuff comes across, because we've reverse engineered it. We know that is how you've determined this is a target. When you then submit your cover letter, your headshot, your resume, your footage, whatever it is that's required of them to get the ball rolling, to get a meeting, they are going to look at your material and immediately see dollar signs. And that's the number one thing that agents and managers look for. Dollar signs. Because they're working for free until you book. So please understand, they are taking a huge risk on you, especially if you don't yet have credits at that tier that you're saying you were born to work. You haven't proved. We just had an earthquake. We're having an earthquake. That is so cool. Oh my God. I have to tweet. Earthquake. That was really cool. You felt nothing, Kimberly? Oh, we totally just had an earthquake. That was neat. Ooh, okay, that was very exciting. Okay, take on agents, managers, clients, self-tapes. Alex, I actually just wrote about that in our Getting Gear program. We absolutely love the proactive self-tape. Didn't feel it in Koreatown? Alexandra didn't feel anything? Maybe I made it up. South LA didn't feel it? Okay, I totally made it up. Did I make it up? You would have hit under the table? It was, you didn't feel it Midtown? Oh my God, did I make up an earthquake? I totally may have made up an earthquake. We'll find out. The internet will tell us. Okay, you had to step away to get a phone call. Oh, that has nothing to do with the earthquake. You're in Century City, didn't feel it? Okay, maybe I made it up. That's fine. Sometimes I make up earthquakes. That's going to be my new tagline. Sometimes I make up earthquakes. Ha ha. Anyway. It was little, if anything. I mean, sometimes we feel Catalina earthquakes here, so who knows. But, don't let it scare you. Don't let it scare you. It's you get used to it. I mean, crazy to say, but it's true. When your material comes across the desk of the agents and they see dollar signs and they're excited and they're like, oh my God, I have to meet with this actor. That's what we're going for. We want it to be a hell yes. It could be a huge truck. Everybody's saying huge truck. Okay, fine. We had a huge truck. Okay, should I tweet that? Or... huge truck? Sure. There. How's that? Okay, fine. Fictional earthquakes. I did. I made the earth shake with truth bombs. Okay, so yes, the goal in all of this is not to land some agent. The goal is to have someone who is so a hell yes for where you are and your next tier and exactly where it is that you're headed, that even though you don't yet have the bookings to back it up, you've got enough momentum of the self-produced work, of the lower tier work, whether that's the Copy Credit Meals projects, the student films, whatever, that you are showing them, this is what I do and this is what it looks like, in such a way that they agree. Wow, you were born to live in the world of Aaron Sorkin, or you're so Shondaland, you know, or you're J.J. Abrams all day, or Ryan Murphy would kill to have you on any of his projects. Like, these types of things are all map outable. And the fact that most actors just kind of take the approach of, well, I need an agent, so I'm going to just submit my stuff, that you're really saying, well, I better get married because now I'm an adult. That doesn't work. I have done enough shopping around to know this is going to be a good fit. And that good fit is something that everybody can agree upon, and it's something that gets everybody excited. And I want you to have the kind of agent or manager who is so passionate about repping you. They cannot wait to tell casting directors about this new actor they just signed. Like, that's what I want for you. And if you don't have an agent or manager who is that excited to introduce you to the targets that we all agree are a good fit for you, don't sign just to sign. It doesn't help you to sign with somebody just because you can. It may feel good to you if you're just like, oh, I'm just so tired of being unwrapped. If you're sure you've done all the work that you needed to do up to that point, and now you're just like, yes, I absolutely need to be signed. Okay, do it. But if you're indiscriminate about the person or the company with whom you sign, you're going to find yourself frustrated because they're not going to be hustling to get you out. They're not going to be, oh, hell yes, I cannot wait to pitch this actor. And that starts to erode your confidence. And that's what I don't want, is for you to be in a position where you start to doubt yourself, where you start to think, maybe I'm not good enough. When the problem and what is flawed is that you got with somebody who has no relationship, no pull into the offices that you were born to get into because of the storytelling that you're meant to do. Earthquake in Hollister, California, 2.5. Thanks, Caroline. I didn't make it up. I don't know where Hollister is, but that means there was an earthquake, and I will take it. Yes, Rod, you do the same thing in New York. There's not that much less, well, there is. There is less production, but the work works exactly the same. The work works the same, the targeting work works the same no matter what market you're in, unless you only have one show and one agent. I mean, you know, that's a small enough market where you get with the one agent and you get on the one show. But if it's only one show, you may not even need that one agent to get on it because they need people. Or if you have the one film that comes to town once a year or something like that. It really does depend on your market. Somebody had some questions about local hire stuff. I want to make sure that we get on that before we go. My hair has feels. My hair has earthquake sensors. Yeah, I know. It's not so bad. Not so bad. My hair has no body. It sticks straight. So this will be an interesting haircut to see if I can do it. Finding shows that you need to target. Nick, this is where if you do the typing work, the shows that you should target get easy. When you put out your headshot in the Facebook group and say, you know, I think my brand is blah, blah, blah. Dana, ask the question again, sweetheart. If you say, this is me, this is the brand I'm working, and people say, oh my God, you need to be on Stranger Things. And you're like, great, Stranger Things. And if you're like, I've never seen Stranger Things, then you need to go look at Stranger Things and find out where it shoots, who casts it, and then of course, which agents and managers are the inroads for that. Thank you. Yes, my hairs feel the earth move. It's true. What to do when they only cast locally in another town. Matthew. Thanks, Tisha. Yeah, take the retreat. Everybody should take the retreat. We're still in early bird pricing, by the way. If you do the retreat May 6th here in LA, it's still in early bird pricing right now. Getting an agent in another state, being local hire. Okay, so Dana and Matthew, let me get you on this. Matthew, if your research has shown that even though they shoot somewhere else, they do cast actors who live where you live. You can do this research exactly the same way. You can find out if they are doing it through agents that are local to the production or agents that are local to you. Dana, if you are specifically targeting rep in another city because you know you can work there as a local hire and there is a show that you specifically are targeting in that place, as long as you can work as a local hire, you're probably going to be a welcome person on their radar when you do the submitting. If, however, you can't work as a local hire, you're trying to compete with an existing roster of actors who can work locally, and so that's a little more challenging. So this is where the homework works exactly the same. Like, for instance, we've got a ton of shows that shoot in Atlanta. I have clients who can work as a local hire in Atlanta, and so they have targeted rep in Atlanta saying, I'm an LA-based talent who will self-tape, because still the number of actors who refuse to self-tape is staggering. And so because especially Atlanta loves self-tape, you've got actors who are LA-based, so LA-level training and experience, which is still considered a hot deal. I don't know what's happening with my hair over here. To a lot of people, and then they're able to say, I will self-tape, and I can get myself there for a callback, and of course I can get myself there to work as a local hire. There are reps in Atlanta that are like, great, we'll take you on. And of course people who are based in Atlanta going, LA actors, stop encroaching on our space. But the same is true in the other direction. There are actors who come into LA from other markets. The difference being the self-tape invitation is not quite as high volume for a lot of it as is the call and pitch, that sort of thing. So the Jackson agents, I can only can't see that whole comment. I'll come back through the comments after and answer in writing anything that I missed. Let's see, so I covered how to identify your targets and making sure they don't rep too many people, making sure that they don't sign and shelve you. You know, obviously you want to see if you've got any red flags about these people. Do a good Google. You want to have a fantastic package for submitting to them. Find out what they want. You know, if they've got a website that says, here's our submission policy, follow it. You know, they've given you the outline for a reason. If they say that they only accept electronic submissions, that's how you submit. If they say we want hard copy submission, do that. And then we've talked about the seasons and the time of year to be looking for all this. If someone's been on a lot of shows and all one ep co-stars, they're still lower tier. Well, the frequency of co-stars means that they are either happy working as a career co-star, or they don't yet have the rep who can take them from co-star to guest star. And here's the ninja move on that. And if you've not had this conversation with your rep, if this is you, Lainey, if you've not had this conversation with your rep, I highly recommend it. Yeah, Mathis, read the book. It's in the book, yes. Is that you have a conversation with them that says, I am ready to go from co-star to guest star. And to go from co-star to guest star, I'm aware that you may have to negotiate my first one as guest star billing for co-star money. Write that phrase down if you need it. It's in the book, but write that phrase down. You tell them, I will take guest star credit for co-star money. Because what that does is it doesn't cost production any extra in their budget. So if they've only budgeted for a co-star, even if it's a larger role, you haven't cost them any money. It just changes where you are in the billing. And then it gives the agent leverage on your next project to say, oh, she actually is no longer doing co-star, she works guest star. And then they go, oh, okay. And then we, the buyers, on the end of the casting side of things go, okay, great. So you're at a guest star tier now, and you're not considered a career co-star. So that's something to think about. Took a year off from acting. Is that a red flag for agents? Depends on why you took it off, Elizabeth. If you took the year off for things that you can explain in an on-brand way and that you feel good about and that you don't feel ashamed of, you're probably fine. If it's because you were a disaster on set and you had to go get your head right because you had screwed up your reputation all over town, that's going to be a tougher sell. How do you see actors from another country? What do you mean? The question got too long, so I can't see the full of it. So again, sorry you guys, Renee, that's a really long question. On my screen, it only shows me the first couple lines. So guest star credit for co-star money. Tell the agent that. Yeah, Rebecca, but only if you're already so lousy with co-stars that you are legit ready to make that jump. You have to be ready to make the jump, or else they can't sell it, even if it doesn't cost production any money. Wasn't sure you wanted to continue with acting. Elizabeth, that's tough. That's a red flag for an agent, because you're basically saying to an agent, hey, I was so not sure I wanted to be an actor that I had to take a year off. Will you sign me? That's not going to happen again. Is it? And I'm sure you're sure it's not going to happen again, but you have to remember that the agent's job is to perceive level of risk in signing you. And so you want to make sure that you are perceived as low risk. And so, taking some time off to deal with family stuff is usually considered an easier sell than I wasn't sure I wanted to be an actor. We want passionate, committed people that are not going to decide when I call them with that, oh my God, you have to get to set immediately because they are casting from wardrobe, to go back to the castle story from the beginning of the broadcast, that you're going, yeah, I'm taking a sabbatical because I'm not really sure where my head's at with acting. So just keep that in mind. Just again, if you think like a buyer, if you come from the place of the buyer brain, a lot of this gets really simple. If you had co-star role, 3 episodes, same show, should I move to the next tier or stay as co-star? Well, you're not a co-star if you did the same role on a show multiple times. That's a recurring role. So you're already at a different tier. That's recurring. How about actors from another country? What about actors from another country? What's your question? Please let me know. Can a commercial agent still send you theatrical breakdowns? Can they send you out on it? Yeah, but they don't have the same relationships. Commercial, remember, we're tracking relationships. This is a relationship business. I sometimes cast commercials. I don't have relationships with commercial agents. So I call the same agents that I do when I have theatrical casting needs, because those are the people that I know. And luckily the types of commercials that I do cast are ones that are very theatrical. So, and the reason I ever cast commercials, it's so funny how this happened, is I have relationships with producers and directors in the theatrical sector, and sometimes between projects, they get hired to do commercials. And I'll never forget the first time it happened. I got the call saying, hey, Bon, we're doing a commercial and we need you, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't cast commercials. And the director was like, yeah, and I don't direct commercials, but hey, we're going to do that right now. And I'm like, okay, shit. So I got to figure out how to do a commercial contract, because I'd never done one before. I had to learn all the stuff about buyouts. So of course I call up Lori Records and I'm like, help your friend, because I don't know what I'm doing. And she was great, of course. Wonderful. They told me no when I asked if it was recurring. Rainier, if you worked the same job multiple times on the show and it was a speaking role under a union contract, that's recurring, sweetheart. That's recurring. How do you get an agency to take a look at you when you have very few credits? Well, Reed, if you are still trying to build credits that get an agent interested in you, remember that an agent has to see dollar signs. An agent has to see the value in signing you because they see the potential to make money. So that's why I so recommend self-producing and creating content and working with others who are creating content at that tier, so that you are able to collaborate and build not only a ton of footage that shows you as low risk for a very certain type of storytelling right there within your bullseye brand, right? But also, if you're smart about it, you're getting these up on IMDb, so it's building your credits at the same time. And we walk through how to do that in the book as well. You're freelancing and get work. Should you want to be signed? I like the freedom. Samuel, if you like the freedom, keep the freedom. Because then you get to enter at a higher tier. If you're freelancing and working and you've got people who are happy to get you out and you can handle managing where the commissions get paid out based on all the people that are getting you out there, excuse me, I would say that you're in fantastic shape to not get with an agent until you're at a high enough tier that you're like, okay, now I'm ready to settle down. I'm ready to get serious, and now I want to be with the agent at the next tier rather than those first co-star level agents. That's absolutely doable. No, the process should not be any different for teens, other than they're probably looking at youth divisions at some of the bigger agencies that segregate out between an adult department and a children's department, depending on where they are in their teens. I mean, 13 versus 18 is a different thing there. Cool. Awesome, guys. Woohoo! What else? What else? What else? Was there anything else? I know I mentioned in the Bond Blast today, if you're not on the mailing list, please remedy that, BonnieGillespie.com. But head over to smfa4.com, because then you can get signed up for our free quarterly call. The next one is April 11th. Make sure you're signed up for that. We're going to have a blast. All you have to do is pop in your email address, and you get emails from me twice a week. Tuesdays, I do the Bomb Blast. Fridays, I do Fired Up Friday. You should pay the team even when you get the job yourself. You absolutely should pay your team commission every time, because here's why. Paying your team commission says, I'm a pro. It says, I'm a pro, you're my team. Team pays the pro. Pro pays the team. I got that backwards. The pro pays the team. The pro doesn't go, oh, but technically I got this one from my own relationships. It's a relationship business. We are all working all our relationships, and you have no idea how many times your agent may have called and pitched you that I couldn't get you in, and then the one time I called you in, you felt like it was a direct call in from me because I happened to just see you out at a play, and then I called you in the next day on something that I'm casting, and you go, see, I got that myself. Did you? You don't know how many times your agent pitched you. You don't know how many times your agent said to me, you know, I really wish you would give this guy a shot. And I'm like, I know, I just haven't had the right role yet. So you pay commission every time. That's what pros do. And you just see it as part of the budget. It's part of your operating expense. You know, like I've got an attorney, I got a CPA, I got people. And when you got people, you pay your people. It's what being at a better tier includes. And you want that. So you should always be grateful that you have a team to pay, because that's, I mean, all those years that you're like, I can't get an agent. You would have killed to have commission to pay. And now you've got commission to pay, and it should feel really good for you to do it. When they get the call for renegotiation, it's so worth that 10%. Oh my God, Dana, that is so true. That renegotiation, and oh, we picked up the commercial for another wild spot, and you don't know what to do with that. And also, casting doesn't want to talk to actors when we're negotiating. We want to talk to people who are dispassionate and not at all attached to billing and trailer size and size parity of your head on the poster art and shit like that. You want us to be dealing with your people. Absolutely. Yes, pay the team, Samuel, pay the team. Indeed. Y'all smart, you know. It is exactly, Ponton. It is like my writing checks. Every time I write a check for any bill that I have, I am writing a thank you note. When I write a check every month to the credit card company, that is a thank you note for them believing enough in me to give me that line of credit. I'm like, thank you so much for trusting that I'm a grown-up and I will pay you back. You betcha. You bet, Nick. Thanks for posting in the group. Remember, the rule at the group is 2 gives for every ask. Our group is unlike any other on Facebook, and with good reason. We want you to come from a place of service, and if everybody comes from a place of service, it's the best group on Facebook, because everybody's looking for how can we help out. How can we help out? That's right. We're making this business the one we want it to be with our every decision. You betcha. Andrew, I'm so excited we're going to get to play soon. Did you like the Huntley? I think you like that. I think you said you like that. We're going to go there. It's going to be amazing. Love the view of the Huntley. It's raining today. I know, with all this sun, it's raining. I know. Oh, see, I should have known there was going to be an earthquake, because when it rains after that much bright sun, earthquake weather. Yep, that's for real. But my cat didn't freak out. I know, now I'm going to have to go look it up. I have to go look up if that was an earthquake or just a huge truck. All right, you beautiful people. Looks like we're winding down. My God, we had like 150 people on at once at one time. That's crazy. Y'all want some agents. Do you feel like you've got a good sense of how this works now? I do too, Alexandra. I love the rain. How many credits to shoot for before you go for an agent? It depends on what tier of agent you're shooting for. My pleasure, Russell. Thank you for being here, sweetheart. It depends. Again, self-management for actors. Your situation is going to be unique. And so depending on your targets and depending on whether or not you need an agent for your very next tier at your targets, you may not. Your research may pan out that you can get your next level booking without an agent at all. So, don't rush. Don't rush. You may not need an agent till the next meeting season, which will be, and it's not mating season, the next meeting season. Eliza, good. Thank you. Check out the book. Check out the retreat. We're going to have a blast. The next meeting season. So we'll have meeting season April to Memorial Day, pretty much. And then people take a little break before episodic season starts up in July. And then, oh, good, Anna Maria. Awesome. And then, you're welcome, Rosalie. Love you, sweetheart. And then there will be another drop season around Halloween. And there will be meetings in a little short window of November before Thanksgiving, and a couple more meetings will usually take place in December. It depends on when the Jewish holidays are. When Christmas and Hanukkah overlap, they do a lot of meetings the first couple weeks of December. But when Hanukkah is earlier in December, sometimes December is just a shit show and nobody's in the office, like anywhere. They just take the whole month off. Because we work so freaking hard in this business that sometimes we're like, you know what, we're gonna take a few weeks off, but nobody's ever really off. We're always working. We're always working. Absolutely my pleasure, Kate. Thank you for being here. Thanks, you guys. Cool. All right, so you're signed up. Love you too, Curse. It was so good seeing you at Thirsty Third Thursday, and I loved your picture on Instagram today. Looking good. I will remind y'all to please get on the list for the call, April 11th. We do a free quarterly call, and I answer all your questions. Catherine, you're the best. Love you, sweetheart. Absolutely my pleasure. Let's see. Budharaja. Am I saying that right? Budharaja? That's how it looks. My pleasure. Thank you, Reed. Thank you, Alexandra. Thank you, Mathis. I'm glad y'all were here. So quarterly call, April 11th. The retreat, May 6th. What else is coming up? Oh, the SMFA escape. So excited. I'm so happy to help with the overwhelm, Caitlin. A lot of times we use overwhelm as the excuse to not move forward because it's just easier to say, I'm overwhelmed, there's too much. But we can always cut through. We can always cut through. Thanks, Kristen. My pleasure, Ingeborg. Love you. Yes, we can always cut through and find what is the very next thing that I need to do. Awesome, Julie. I'm so glad. Thank you, Kimberly. Hope you enjoyed your pepper snack. Yay! Good. Love you guys. Thank you for joining me. I will come back through a little later today and dig in on the comments. Absolutely, Kristen. My pleasure. Love you guys. And so if you've got any burning questions or if you're watching this on replay, thank you for watching. And please do add your questions here at Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, comments are only open at Facebook. Just to keep me from losing my freaking mind, I put all the comments in one place rather than multiple places because I'm just one person. Contrary to what you believe, I am one person. So comments here. All right, good. Mother-daughter team loving me. That makes me happy as a former kid actor with a mom who walked me all the way through the process. It's absolutely my pleasure to help y'all come together and tackle this business as a business. Awesome, Kathleen. Thanks, Dakota. All right, you guys. Oh, Sierra, it's my brain just works that way. Thanks, John. Of course. Absolutely my pleasure. Okay, I could say goodbye forever and ever. Love you, beautiful people. Till next time. BonnieGillespie.com. Stay ninja. Mwah.